Yes, it actually happened. Today we had one of the most astounding results in recent chess history. Top 10 all time, I mean, it's crazy. So we all know the GRENKE Chess Classic is being played right now with Carlsen, Caruana, etc. But today they finished a very strong GRENKE Chess Open. And very strong, yes. First seed, Etienne Bacrot, 27-18. Then we have Richard Rapport, 27-15. Wang Hao, 27-13, etc. We have 4 players over 2700. We have an ex-FIDE world champion, one of the best Dutch players of all time, Anton Korbov on the Ukrainian national team, Alexei Shirov, a legend of the game, Daniel Friedman, he won the European Championship with Germany, etc. But we have to scroll all the way down. Here are many GMs, Vladimir Malagato, Kulisevich, Grigori Antal, Milos Pavlovic, 54. But we have to scroll down all the way to number 99 to get the winner of this huge open. And that's none other than 13-year-old, Vincent Keymer from Germany. So he's currently an IM, but of course winning this tournament with 8 out of 9, which is insane. Beating some very strong players, drawing some extremely strong players. Of course he gets a GM norm, and this is a kid to look out for. He's being trained by by Peter Leko, and yeah, this is something to keep an eye on, definitely. And I want to have a look at his last round game, where he played against Richard Rapport. So the story was, before the last round we had 4 players with 7 out of 8, Rapport and Keymer, and the others were, I think, Shirov and somebody else. Doesn't matter, they drew on board 1, and on board 2 Rapport played against Vincent Keymer in a very exciting and tense game. So Rapport had the white pieces, he opened with d4. We saw the Queen's Gambit declined, and here h6 by Keymer. Bishop moves to h4, we have castles, rook c1, standard stuff which we have seen many times. And now finally white takes on d5, bishop d3, c6. And a very standard Karlspad type structure. And well, white has a choice if to put the knight on e2 or f3 here. He goes for bishop g3 for the time being. Rook e8. White could play for tricks here with a move like knight b5, aiming to go in here, but probably doesn't amount to anything. So we see h3 from Rapport, bishop to b4. Yeah, this I'm sure the kid is well prepared, but my knowledge of these lines, especially for black, is not so great. But I'm not too sure about this move. Do we really want to exchange this bishop? But I'm sure he had something in mind. After knight e4, okay, the bishop was attacked. We can't allow the knight to take on g3, so bishop f4. And now c5. Black is breaking in the center, trying to use this pin. Castles, and now he gives up this bishop. Bishop takes c3. So now this is more like structure you might get out of an Nimzo Indian. And Keymer goes knight b6. Knight jumps into e5. And I think white is definitely for choice here. He has the bishop pair. But black will try to play on the light squares, try to get some kind of blockade, and probably try to exchange the light square bishops if play develops quietly. But that's not Rapport's style, and he does not allow the play to develop quietly here. After knight e5, f6 was played, and in most cases, well, people probably wouldn't go knight e5, but they would probably go back to f3. But here, nice provocation by Rapport. He goes knight to g4, And after the c4 first, pushing the bishop back, Keymer decides to accept the challenge. He goes h5. Knight to h2 and g5. And all of a sudden, this bishop is trapped. But it comes at a price. Okay, we can play here and then h4, but it's better to keep it on f4 and take on h5, which is exactly what Rapport did. He took on h5. So the price that black has paid is simply the white open king. And probably white has more than enough compensation. It's probably better here after f3, and this position should be, you know, exactly what Rapport wants. He likes complicated positions, very creative player. Queen h7, king f8, and here he gives a check on h6, and the king starts running. Now this looks really scary for black. The king is running, but he has up a piece. So queen g7, king e6, rook f2 e1. The question is always which rook. I thought this rook, but maybe you want this rook in case something happens on the b file in the future. Rook to e7. This creates a flight square on d7 if white were to take on f4. So Rapport tries to prevent that with queen to g4 check. But now f5. And Rapport just takes it. Knight takes and queen to g6. And turns out this is the only legal move. So this was an easy tactic by Rapport. He picks up the knight on f5. The king keeps on running. He goes to c6. We don't want to go to c7 because then white takes on f4 with check. And no need to give him an extra tempo. But white takes nonetheless on f4. And let's quickly take stock. Material is actually equal. Black has up a piece, but white has 3 pawns for the piece. And usually that's enough. And here white has connected. I mean, the pawn chain is connected, so I mean, he has some chances to push the pawns in the future and hope for a good game. So I would say this is it's hard to pick a side. It's a matter of taste, and I would say this is still very complicated and up for grabs for either side. Bishop to e6, e4, and now queen g8 by Keymer. He wants to introduce his other rook into the game finally. Queen to h6 and king c7 moving out of this pin, even though probably knight will take on d5 if white were to take. King h1, white does the same, moving out of any danger of potential bishop takes h3 in future lines. Rook to f8, rook e2, and rook h7. So the queen is attacked, it goes back to home base. So yeah, material is equal. And white would like to, at some point, to start pushing these pawns, but it's quite difficult. You can't push this one, it's going to be taken, captured. If you push the g pawn, your h pawn is weak. F pawn, then maybe we take here, and there are some holes to take care of. So all in all, it's hard for either side to make any progress here. But Keymer just keeps on improving. Okay, king b8. He figures his king is safer, tucked in the corner, either here or right in the corner. Rook c to e1. And now black takes on e4. So white just doubled, so one would think taking with the rook was what he intended, but d takes e4 was actually clever because white prefers to keep his pawns like this. And if he had taken with the rook, we would have gotten the d5 square for our pieces. So white elects to take with a pawn. Bishop retreats to d7, not allowing any tempo gaining moves like d5. So we're sort of, I don't think either side think, I think white thinks he's better here. But black is just, you know, trying to keep the status quo. He shouldn't be losing if white doesn't find a plan. Rook e8, queen f4 check, king to a8. So the king is for the moment safely tucked in the corner. But still, this is a very difficult position to assess. Rook to f8, queen comes back to h2. I'm still not sure which side I would choose. In a way, the queen side here and some of the pawn structure resembles a French defense a little bit, so maybe out of allegiance I would take the black side. But to me, in some cases, it looks easier for white to play. You have his pawns, you will try to push them, and there doesn't seem to be any immediate danger on the king side. But okay, let's see. This is attacked. Rook to e3, defending it. a6. Another of these small moves where, okay, he's just making note of the king. Maybe he wants to secure the knight with b5 in the future. Remains to be seen. Queen e5. And this turns out actually to be a blunder, but a very tricky one. And as is often the case with these young talents, they are quite good in tactics, and Keymer found the winning move here. Black to move. It's easy to guess the move, but it's pretty hard to see the continuation. So he took on h3, and Rapport played king to g1. So okay, why didn't Rapport take on h3? Well, rook takes h3, and now you can't move the knight because the rook would hang. So naturally we would take that. Okay, but what about the rook here? Turns out that this move is very dangerous. Now this guy is attacked, and if you get to take that one, then the number of pawns that white has as compensation has drastically been diminished, and we can't move the knight. Why? Because of mate. So what to do? If you try to protect here, the queen can enter the fray. More attackers to this, and again dangerous checks all over the board, and black would win here. So that explains why Rapport didn't take. He played king g1, but this is too much. Okay, now big pressure on g2. He tried to defend with knight h4, but now we can exchange on f2, and black can actually take here on g2. So at the moment he has 2 pieces for the rook, and again material is magically equal. Rook and a pawn has 2 pieces, but white can't defend here. Queen f1 check, king here, and black's threat is simply too dangerous. Rapport tried queen black to move, bishop g4, and now the threat is just too much. He tried queen e8 check, but after queen takes a4, the simple queen f2, and now we see why he played bishop g4. He's covering the e2 square, so this rook is going to drop, and black is winning. And with that win, we have a tournament win for Vincent Keymer. 13 years old in a huge international open in Germany. And not only does he win, but next year, okay, he will be 14, but he will play in the GRENKE Chess Classic with the big boys. And I mean, if that is not a learning experience, I don't know what is. So this is definitely a guy we have to keep an eye out on, and a huge congratulations to him. And I think I might check out some games from him in this tournament to see what kind of beast we're dealing with. But for now, I'm out. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.